And that is why I told him that I wouldn't date him again. I just can't compete with dogs in the bed.
Way. I've heard that story a million times.
Like looking in a mirror.
I just said, Ted Cruz, I'm not going to be your other woman anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he spun out all over Fox News.
Yeah.
His words are really sloppy. Let's be real. So he probably could have keep it real with you anyway.
Oh my God, I think we're live.
I think we're live.
Okay, whew. We'll cut that part.
Welcome to Over the Ledge Live, the podcast, the #1 and some say only political satire show based solely on the Texas legislature. I'm Amy Lowrey, and I'm glad you're here. It's a new year, but the same Texas, which is good for us. We just can't learn anything new these days because we're too consumed by trying to figure out the new CDC guidelines. It's almost as if Elizabeth Holmes is running the CDC now. Over the Ledge gives you a behind-the-scenes look at the shenanigans of the Texas legislature by decoding political headlines and legislators' behavior into easy-to-understand single-ant jokes. We're just as funny, but not as famous yet. Let's meet our guest tonight. First up, we have our beloved Erin Salinas. Erin is an award-winning writer, director, and actor with a love for brisket, breakfast tacos, and learning to live with lactose intolerance, who frankly is always late on the rent. A native Texan, you can find Erin listening to Salinas or in the aisles of an HEB when we're not in stage 5. He is vaxxed and boosted and thinks you should be too. Welcome, Erin Salinas.
What's happening, y'all? That is, I'm not doing any kind of resolutions, but I am taking my lactose intolerance seriously this year. That's what I'm promising myself.
Great.
Let's see how long it lasts.
Second, we have a very special guest for you, Over the Ledge alumna, Dana Yanoshak. Yay! You may not recognize her, but she played Greg Abbott in Over the Ledge Part 4. Dana is a queer actress, model, comedian, and healthcare worker in Austin, Texas. She loves to talk about healthcare, ways to prevent COVID transmission, and of course, how Texas politics is wrapped up into all of that. Outside of the hospital, you can regularly catch her perform at the very nerdy and super secret Tiny Minotaur Tavern. It's like a speakeasy meets D&D, Renaissance Festival, interactive Fantasyland. Go to tinyminotaur.com to book a session. Welcome, Dana.
It's great to be back, y'all.
It's great to see you.
Woo! What happened to my bald cap?
I know.
Or gray hair.
Oh, God. Someone stole that bald cap.
Really?
By the way. I don't have it.
I just remember it flying off in the middle of a show.
I think I remember that. Tonight, our very special celebrity guest is Carrie Collier Brown. Carrie Collier Brown is co-founder and chair of Texas Blue Action Democrats, a neighborhood-based network mobilizing progressive suburban voters in Texas. Started in January 2018 in Southwest Austin, Blue Action raised over $150,000 and trained over 400 volunteers in 2 years. Carrie also co-hosts the Left in Texas podcast and is a member of Planned Parenthood's Austin Community Board. Carrie is senior counsel with Lock Lord LLP with 20 years experience in energy regulatory law and policy. Welcome, Carrie Collier Brown to Over the Ledge.
Yay. So glad to be here.
I didn't realize you were a senior partner.
Senior counsel, not a partner.
Senior counsel.
Yep.
Still.
I have small children. I had 6-month-old twins when I moved over to this firm. So I was like, I can't build those kind of hours right now.
Goodness.
Oh
my goodness.
Wow.
I like to sleep.
Yeah. Finally, we have the creator and the ruler of the Over the Ledge empire who needs no introduction, Stephanie, I'm not the drama, Chiarello.
Hello. That's my resolution this year, Erin, is I'm not going to be the drama. Not my circus, not my elephant. I'm
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to change the format a little bit and go straight into our games. Okay, audience, let me tell you how this podcast works. On tonight's episode, Erin and Dana are competing against each other for the coveted Most Knowledgeable Comedian in Austin award.
Oh my gosh.
Comedians, please. Yep. It's big.
I'm holding on to my hat.
That's the appropriate reaction. Comedians, please be aware that you can each phone a friend 3 times if you're stuck on a question. And by friend, we mean Carrie Collier Brown. The wrong way. This award is given to the comedian who knows the most about Texas politics, according to the outcome of the games on our show. Stephanie, show the award.
Oh, wow. Well,
Shiny.
It does kind of look like a hot dog. You're not wrong.
Is that a bowling pin?
I think so.
Why, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Don't we say it's the hand of a gavel though? That's what.
Yeah, it's the justice. If you look at it this way, it's like a justice gavel.
Ooh.
Got it.
Yeah, the justice gavel has 2 bowlers on.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Wait, that justice could go through like the gutter ball or something.
Oh, yeah.
That seems appropriate.
So appropriate. Whoever wins gets their picture taken with our special guest, Carrie Collier Brown, and Carrie will post the picture on social media, announcing that the winning comedian is the most. So I was going to ask Stephanie, did she ask Carrie if it was okay with it?
No. I barely reminded Carrie that this was happening tonight. So.
By the way, since Carrie is a campaign guru, our first game is called To Run or Not to Run, a candidate story. As always, comedians can ask her for help a total of 3 times apiece between the 2 games they play. And Carrie, feel free to jump in at any time. But remember, this is Texas, and nobody gets anywhere from any help from anyone else. All right, take it away, Stephanie.
All right, wonderful. Dana,
Whoa.
you get to go first because
Well.
you are the guest comedian. And Carrie, do you want to tell us what GSD stands for?
The real version, it's the Get Shit Done Club.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So Carrie likes to get shit done. So let's learn a little bit about that shit and what it's getting done. Dana, here's your first question. How many votes does a candidate need to win in order to win a race? How many votes does a candidate need to win by in order to win a race? I'm going to give you multiple choice. Don't worry.
Okay, I was like, in what kind of election?
Yes, that's a lot. That's a very broad brush.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, look, if you knew how to campaign, okay, you would totally know what I was asking for here.
Okay.
Which means I have failed to ask a good question. So, Tom, let's just turn this whole thing off. It's my second failure. Okay, here. You're going to get multiple choice. So how many votes does a candidate need to win by, right? When they're like, you've won, what's that count? Is it 50% of the votes plus 1% of those who voted? B, is it 50% of the votes plus 1 vote? Is it C, 51% of the votes? Or D, 50% of the votes plus 1% of those who voted who live in the candidate's precinct?
Son of a biscuit. But you know what I think?
What do you think?
Oh, shoot. Okay. I hope I don't sound like I'm a dead as a doornail. That means I got a stupid head. But I can't. Oh, gosh. Okay. Can we say. I still think this is a pretty broad question, but.
Yeah.
G?
G?
I said D. I said D, not G.
But I like your
G.
style. If you say
like
G,
your
that could be
style.
C, that could be D.
Okay, let me try again. Let me try again. If there are 10 people, you're running, 10 people voted. Do you need to win by 5 votes plus 1 more vote?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to work for the percentages too. I screwed all this up.
Yeah. So wait. But I want to say I think it was D, right? Where 50% plus, or is it just 51%? That's what I thought.
I'm just going to tell you the answer. We're going to put an asterisk by this question.
Carrie!
It is.
I know the answer.
Okay, Carrie, tell us.
Is Carrie not-
It's B. It's
Yeah,
B.
phone a friend. Okay.
D, it is D?
B. No, B is in boy.
Oh, okay.
50% plus 1 vote.
Okay.
What?
That makes
Well,
sense. That
well,
does
right,
make
you-
sense. Yes.
right,
That's
you
the
gotta
majority. That's a
Okay.
simple majority, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's where I was getting confused here
Okay.
Stephanie.
Those were good confusing answers.
Well, because
That's
does it
options.
depend on the election?
No.
Like, it's always 51%.
Yeah. Because even in Texas, if you don't if you have multiple people running, so you have, say, a Democrat, a Republican, and independent, then we have a runoff system. So they'll go to a runoff. But that's actually not always true, because what happened? I mean, Rick Perry won with like 30% of the vote.
What?
Well, in a
general
for
see,
there
this is
are
where I'm
not
getting
runoffs.
confused. Here, I got
In
my
a
Texas
primary,
history book right over there.
All
On my library, I have it.
He got his degree in animal husbandry. I love pointing that fact out, that he got cows married and then he ran our state.
And he took a class called meats.
Oh,
I would love to take a class called meats.
That probably won him a few votes.
Honestly.
Is that a question? Can I get a question about meat?
It'll be a bonus question. All right. Our takeaway here is you just need one more vote than the other guy.
Yeah.
True. That's the takeaway. We're going to put a little asterisk here, Amy. We'll see if this question matters later in the points. Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Voters can traditionally be broken down into which 3 democratic, also known as demographic, categories? A, the Democratic core, the persuadable core, and the Republican core. B, hardcore, soft core, and liquid magma core.
I know those categories.
C, good people, bad people, and aliens. Or D, the Democratic core, the Republican core, and what people in the industry called lazies.
I think it's a little bit easier question than Dana had.
Hey,
I kind of feel like it's a dating app. Like, hey, who are you interested in?
Magma.
Tell me A and B again.
A is Democratic core, persuadable core, and Republican core. B, you just want me to say these words again.
Okay, so it wasn't B.
Soft core and liquid magma core.
I kind of want to say A, because that's basically Democrat, Republican, and then independent. Like who the independents are like swayable in the policies of that year, correct? So I'm going to say A.
Wow.
You're correct.
I think you're right. Good job.
Carrie, you want to give a little more background?
I mean, I would actually add a 4th category, because I think that assumes sort of the pie is baked, that only people who have voted in the past are the ones who are going to vote again. And part of the reason why we started Blue Action is because I really think that we should expand our idea of what persuadables are. And persuadables, I think, in our experience, the better use of time is persuading people who already agree with us to vote, rather than persuading people who have been voting Republican to now vote Democratic. That's exceedingly hard to do. And people who tell you that, they vote Republican sometimes and Democratic sometimes, almost always entirely vote Republican all the time. But there are tons of people, we need to expand the electorate, especially in a state like Texas, where we are routinely dead last or close to dead last in the number of people who actually show up to vote. There are still millions of eligible and registered voters who don't show up. And part of that is because the Democratic Party doesn't go out and talk to those folks. And that's for a bunch of reasons, resources, the state is freaking huge. Like there's a lot of reasons for that. But I would hope that in addition to Republican voters, Democratic voters, and any kind of persuadable voters, that we also persuade people to be voters who aren't already voters.
Wonderful.
Smart.
Back to you, Dana.
Uh-huh.
What are the 4 C's of a good campaign message? A, clear, cool, collected, and calm. B, clear, concise, calm, and convincing. C, clear, concise, contrasting and convincing.
Okay.
Or D, calm, collected, crafted, and common.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Obviously.
That's so.
It's a toss-up.
That's really
underhand.
And it has to be in the correct order, right?
It can be in any order, but the 4 words are pretty important, which 4 they are.
Okay.
So
what was A again? That was
A is clear, cool, collected, and calm. B is clear, concise, calm, convincing. C is clear, concise, contrasting, convincing. D is calm, collected, crafted, common.
All right, Carrie. I'm thinking it's C on C. C.
I have no idea.
I think it's a C. I think it's C. I'm saying it's C, Carrie.
You're right. Dana, it's C.
That sounds right.
Good job. I just wanted to tell you, Carrie. 'Cause I got that one.
You got it.
Dodge,
you want
duck,
to be
dive.
clear,
Yeah.
concise. You want to contrast yourself against your opponent.
That
you want to
sounds
convince.
That sounds like a textbook term that you would be again at a a Marriott sitting around with your constituents, having really bad tea and orange juice and all that, and then there's that PowerPoint of the C's.
Yeah. In that ballroom
Yeah.
where everything's sort of stained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
should have
clean.
included
Nailed
calm. Okay, Aaron, you get question 4 is 2 parts because they're both true false. Okay, so you only get half a credit for part A and half for part B. True or false, Aaron? A candidate can look up your voting history to see when you voted and in what elections you voted.
True.
You're correct.
Yeah, because I remember I read that somewhere in college. I was like, this feels illegal, but I guess the right people said, nah, it's not. And we just kind of said, okay.
Well, so Carrie, do you want to expand? Do people know that Aaron voted for Ted Cruz?
Well, I typically do vote for, the
worst person on the ballot.
I typically
Who's the worst?
try and peer through and see like if I can get some representation. I try not to vote for the white guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it there. But I do try to make it a point where like, oh no, I'm not falling for that, Cruz. I'm not falling for it. Teodoro, I'm not falling for it.
For Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a great question because people, get confused or don't realize this. But the fact that you're registered to vote is public information. The fact that you voted and in which elections you voted, both primaries and in general elections and any other, sort of nonpartisan local elections, all public. But who you voted for is, of course, secret. But if you in this state, you don't register as a Democrat or Republican in Texas. But when you go and vote in a primary, you ask for either the Republican ballot or the Democratic ballot. So it would be public information which primary you vote in. So whether or not you voted in a Republican primary or a Democratic primary.
Thank you. Okay, Aaron, part B, true or false? If you get a phone call from a candidate asking if you'll support them and you say, I don't know, you're guaranteed to never be contacted by them again. True or false?
I have been guilty of saying I'm a convicted felon when I do get those calls, so they stop calling me.
Does that work?
It does.
Joke.
On 2 separate occasions, that's worked. I'm gonna say false. They can keep calling you is what I want. So that's true or false. They can keep calling you. They will keep calling you.
They will.
They will keep calling you.
Yeah.
You know what the easiest way to get them to stop calling you is to vote early. So as soon as you vote, that information gets to the candidate's database within about 24 hours, and you will come off the list. So as soon as you vote on the very first day, and they will stop calling.
Yeah.
That is a get out the vote strategy right there.
Yeah, that is.
Why isn't that on billboards? People
Aaron.
vote early.
We
Aaron,
tell
you
people
gotta-
that. Yeah, that's been part of our stuff for a while. Because especially, you know, they should stop texting you. If they're still calling and texting you, that means their consultant is cheating them out of money.
Ah,
I don't
What
know.
were you
gonna
gonna
text
ask?
that back.
My system kind of works. Just telling them I'm a felon. Just,
Dana, what were you gonna ask?
yeah, what's your crime, Aaron?
oh, I don't have that much street cred. I don't know.
Okay.
I just if they would ask
Okay.
me, I'd be like, that's an invasion of privacy.
You're like
Jeez.
too many parking tickets.
Yeah, just
Right.
just waiting outside a movie theater too long. Like, Jesus, dude, it's Terminator 2. Nobody wants to see this. Why are you waiting in line for it? Like, no. Take
You're
me.
like, I opened somebody else's
Soliciting.
mail.
Yeah.
That's a
I
felony.
opened my
It's a
roommate's mail.
felony.
It's a felony. So to piggyback on that, I think what people think is like, I just want to make this phone call go away. So I'm going to tell them I don't know. But when you say you don't know, you just made yourself the most coveted,
Persuadable.
desirable,
Mhm.
persuadable voter. So you either need to tell them you're with them or against them, whether it's true or not, to get that candidate or that organization in particular to stop calling. Or it is over the ledge endorsed to tell them you are a felon.
It works. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, they are very
works.
polite. Be like, oh, sorry about that, sir.
Or just
But if
vote.
they're smart, the next question they'll ask you is if you're off paper, because then if you're off paper, which is a term that I've learned, that means that you can vote again, even if you were a felon in the state.
And that I'm gonna say, I don't know, and then see where that gets me.
Don't say I don't know. It's going to get let more calls.
That's right. Okay, Dana.
Mhm.
What information is most important to evaluate to determine if you can win a race? Okay, so before you've decided to run, what is part of your decision process? A, your desire and the size of your pocketbook.
Mm.
B, the demographics of your district and registration trends. C, your desire and the demographics of your district. D, the demographics of your district and the sins of your opponent. Or E, how many yard signs you have and how snarky you are on Twitter.
Oh man. Can we talk about those desire the answers again?
Yes.
Just it was demographics and desire. Was that
Yes. Desire and demographics, desire and pocketbook, or demographics and voter registration trends.
oof?
It's a hard one.
I want
Desire and demographics is also an opera that Over the Ledge is going to be mounting very soon.
not open pocketbooks. Okay.
A
Mhm.
campaign named Desire. The Tennessee Williams. knockout.
Oh wow. Shoot. Well, okay. I'm gonna have to go with desire and pocketbook because I feel like that's been the past however many elections, especially from like governor. Is that A?
That is A, but unfortunately it's B, demographics and registration statistics.
Really?
Not desire
Although-
or pocketbooks. Huh.
I
But
should
can I add pocketbook to the demographic and also?
I feel like it is kind of crucial.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It is, but you can't.
Shoot.
You cannot necessarily buy an election.
Okay.
And all you have to do is kind of look at Tony Sanchez or the curling hair guy. I should have written down, you also have to be hot. It's just true.
Mhm, that's
Not
important.
No.
Kinky
Yeah.
Friedman. He
But that's not true. How did Ted Cruz beat Beto? If that's the answer there, because in a contest,
Ted Cruz
Yeah.
is
Water.
smoking.
Let's just say what he lacks in personality.
Hey, I mean, November is chillier, so big dudes are a little more enticing during this, like the chilly
Good
time. Like,
point.
we
That's
give off more
right.
heat, so
His sad sack like beard.
Have y'all seen the?
Oh.
Apparently, we're not supposed to talk about Ted Cruz because he's not Texas Ledge.
This
but
is
he
Ledge.
seems to be.
Oh, true.
But did you see his daughter had this TikTok where she pretty much destroys him and talks about how he yeah, we all saw that. So I want to start at whatever her name is, Save
Yeah,
Isabel.
the poet laureate of
Okay, Aaron, final question of this game. What is the best way to fundraise? A, write yourself a check. B, blackmail your enemies, then your friends if you have to. C, be a rat. Use reason, amount, and time to craft your fundraising request. Or D, if people really like you, you won't have to raise any money.
Well, I went to DC in 8th grade, and my abuela helped me buy a tamale fundraiser. So I think a tamale fundraiser is the best way to get you to DC. But we're talking Texas Ledge, so that might be a little bit different. I honestly thought it was gonna be special interest groups. I'm surprised that was not an option. I was like, yeah, Exxon. Yeah, that's the easiest way to
Get Exxon to write you a check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one would work.
Yeah. I feel like A is illegal, but I also feel like it's allowed.
I don't think anything's illegal as far as fundraising goes in Texas.
Yeah.
I'll shot in the dark. A.
I'm sorry, it's B. Be a rat.
Oh, well, what's the description of a rat?
Reason, amount, and time.
Yeah, it's that PowerPoint that you missed at the
It
Hyatt Regency.
All of these came from that PowerPoint.
Oh, so that
From
is the special interest
2003.
group.
Come
So
on,
nothing
Aaron.
has
No, that-
changed.
Well, do you mean there, Stephanie, like just the candidate for like having a plan and doing call time and basically just dialing for dollars?
That's what I think I mean.
Yeah.
I can see that there are going to be a lot of questions about the winner of this. It's always going to be contested. Were these fair questions?
The
Was
Reddit
the
pages
referee
are blowing
bribed?
up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
There are no campaign finance limits in Texas for the legislature. They can raise as much money as they want. They can write themselves the biggest checks that they want. It was actually, I can't remember who it was. I saw on Twitter yesterday, somebody announcing that they had raised, actually this was an Austin race, but they announced they raised like $370,000, which was a huge amount. And then someone chimed in and said, well, that was $70,000 that they raised and a $300,000 check they wrote themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, where's that? I need friends with these kind of pocketbooks.
Yeah.
dude.
Who can
Damn,
write a
like,
$300,000 check? Yeah.
Can you imagine?
dude.
Okay, Amy, how did we do here?
Okay, well, including the asterisk question, Aaron is leading Dana by 3-1, but we have
Oh.
another game coming up, so
Okay.
don't despair.
It's
You could be
okay.
clutching the bowling
Rematch.
trophy soon.
That's fine.
We're going to put a pin in the games because we're going to lose Carrie. So we're going to skip to the interview.
Awesome.
And
Thanks, y'all.
here we go. Skipping.
I don't know how much help I was anyway.
No, that was super helpful.
Tons
And
of
I
help.
think,
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think one of the lessons there was even these things that I thought were pretty campaign 101, they're not, which I think gives us a good understanding about the baseline, that it's even how a campaign is run is even lower than I could have possibly imagined it was. No offense to Aaron and Dana. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
It's okay, Mom. I'll do better, Mom.
Okay. Okay.
No promises on my end. You get what you get with me. You know that.
So, Carrie, talk to us about Blue Action Democrats, what your inspiration was, and kind of what some of the challenges were, please.
Sure. Actually, today is our 4th birthday. We had our first meeting 4
Hey.
years ago today, which in COVID time seems like it was like a decade ago. It seems like it was so long ago. So we started Blue Action Democrats just in Southwest Austin. First meeting was January 7th, 2018. And I had spent the fall of 2017 sort of, deciding to create the Get Shit Done Club. And I furiously wrote this manifesto of all these things I thought should, be done, and nothing was getting done. And I was super mad about it, frankly. I had small children. I didn't have a lot of time. Trump had been elected, and I'd showed up at, a bunch of Democratic club meetings. And if y'all have ever done that, felt like that they could do more. And so I went around to some other people who also seemed similarly frustrated and was like, hey, do you want to be part of the Get Shit Done Club? And they're like, yeah, let's get some shit done. It's like something's got to get done and nobody else is doing it. So we had our first meeting, raised like $5,000. The first meeting, 120 people showed up in this little community center. And we obviously, touched on a need. And I think the thing that we've learned over the past 4 years is that people want to be invested in their own communities. They want to, build a community of active citizenship, and doing democracy with friends and with neighbors is fun. And since then, I have, I think, 10 chapters stretching from Williamson County down to Bexar County, over to Harris County and Fort Bend and Houston, covering, I think, around 1,000 precincts. I think we started out originally with 9 or 15 precincts. And we now have a Texas Blue Action parent organization so I chair that now. And we have an executive director on staff. We have a data strategist on staff. And we have hired 2 other regional organizers. And the idea here is to give these volunteer-run neighborhood organizing groups the tools that a well-funded candidate would have in order to build that year-round infrastructure. Because y'all, this may shock you, but the way that the Democratic Party has been doing things in the state hasn't worked.
What?
we haven't
Cut to commercial, Tom. Cut to commercial.
We haven't elected any statewide Democrats in my adult lifetime, and I am not young anymore. Like the last time we elected a Democrat statewide was 1992, 1994, something like that. I mean, I was in high school or like barely graduated high school. And it's never going to change if the thing that we keep doing is the same as what we have been doing, because that's the way that we've been doing it. So is what Blue Action doing work? I think so. In that first election cycle, which is 2018, we flipped a Texas House district and elected Vicki Goodwin in a district, like you were talking about demographics. I think that you meant like political demographics, right? Not like they could draw these districts to be favorable for Republicans to get elected or Democrats to get elected, also called gerrymandering. And in all those suburban areas 10 years ago, they shoved all these suburban areas into red districts. And those areas have been trending blue for a variety of reasons. And so we were in a Republican +6 district, which meant that any person with an R behind their name was expected to win by at least 6 points. And we flipped that, and Vicki Goodwin won by, I think, 8 or 9 points.
Wow.
And we just kept going, because there was a city council race, the very first Austin city council races with the new individual districts was that year. And it was our district was also expected to be slightly Republican, and Paige Ellis, who's the Democrat, won in the runoff. And I think mostly because Blue Action Democrats volunteers just kept knocking doors after the November election all the way through December. And I think a couple of takeaways is that, I'll just also say in 2020, went back and did it again. And Vicki Goodwin won her district, same district, by only, I think, 1.5 points, less than 2 points. But if you look at her district, she won the precincts that Blue Action Democrats volunteers were organizing by like 7 or 8 points. And she lost every other precinct where we were not organizing. And she would have lost that election if it hadn't been for Blue Action, going out there and helping her campaign knock doors. So I think the lesson here is that some of the things that we did that I think work are that we start in January, knocking doors. And part of the philosophy is that if we want Democrats to win in November, then we have to get Democrats out to vote in the March primary, right? For too long, I mean, some of us may have done this. We know people who have done it where they're like, well, Republicans are going to win anyway, so I might as well go and vote in the Republican primary so that I can, sort of pick the least worst person. And I would just ask y'all, are we getting better or worse Republicans over the past decade? Is that working? Because I don't think that's working.
Look, I'm crossing over for Don Huffines because I think he's cute. Well, I just think that if we're going to get horrible, Greg Abbott just has had his run. And I think Don just needs a little self-confidence boost, and maybe he'll be a better guy.
I don't know if a lack of confidence is that dude's problem.
Tell me, how are you different than like Indivisible Texas? And I think I'm thinking about like the Women's March. Mm-hmm. If you are a volunteer organization, what are you doing to manage, I don't know how to ask this, people going off, not liking what you're doing anymore and then starting their own niche or changing of leadership? How are you sticking to a script?
Yeah, no, it's a great question because there were so many groups that popped up after the 2016 election, which I love. I think it was this, sort of, oh shit, how did we get in this mess? And it's, because of lack of participation in our own democracy. That's how we got into this mess. So I'm thrilled that all those organizations, sort of popped up, and some of them have kind of fizzled and other ones haven't. I think what sets Blue Action apart is that we were very focused on hyper local organizing, where I may theoretically want, John Ossoff to get elected in whatever state he's from, but it's not actually going to improve like my representation. And so I think the focus on helping people organize their own neighborhoods. They meet people who, are also Democrats. People think that they're the only Democrat in the street or in the neighborhood. So meeting other people has built that community of active citizenship, and that they have gotten to know candidates and they've helped elect candidates that will better represent them. That is sort of self-motivating. And I think is the reason why we're still here and still growing 4 years later. The other reason I think is that, originally I started this group because I got super mad, but it was never going to work if it was just going to be the Carrie Collier Brown group. You have to build up the leadership of volunteers, and then those people become leaders of the groups, and maybe those people decide to run for office. So, I mean, all of those chapters run completely. I have no idea what they're doing. They're like doing awesome stuff, but I think that's the reason you have to build an institution, which we had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea what we were doing. We started out, we had no idea how to build this up. And there've been a lot of, we've screwed up a million ways, but our philosophy has always been, well, let's try this. And if it works, we'll keep doing it. And if it doesn't, we'll okay, let's not do that again. Let's try something else. We have also worked very hard to partner with the party. I've always seen Blue Action as an on-ramp and a partner to the Democratic Party and not competition for the party. I do hope that what we've shown is to push them into prioritizing investment in neighborhood organizing year round, because I think that it is the only way that we're going to flip this state. It's the only way.
I understand that. Well, we need to let you go. We were supposed to let you go a long time ago. So thank you for sticking around.
This has been awesome.
I understand that you make quality mixtapes.
How do you know that? Who told you that?
I have my resources.
Wow.
What would be your mixtape going into this year? What are 5 songs funny. On your mixtape?
I'll just say that I haven't done that in a long time, but I'll even tell on myself. I don't know who told you that, but I'll tell myself before I answer the question. One is that I actually have all of the mixtapes that I, recorded off the radio when I was like in middle school, and they are indexed in my old Trapper Keeper in like some box somewhere. I'm not kidding. And then when CDs became a thing, I used to make mixtapes for people all the time. So that's really funny that you know that. I'm impressed. My mixtape for 2022. Oh man, I wish you'd asked me this ahead of time. I'll throw in some Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it anymore. Some. I think maybe I'll just stick with that. That's my theme song.
All Twisted Sister.
You got it.
I mean, it's a classic. I was going to be hypercritical of your choices, but I'll take it.
Hey,
I will take.
awesome.
Whatever gets it done to get.
Yeah.
Twisted
Great GSD
Sister
song.
on repeat.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, it's an anthem.
You so need to take all those old mixtapes and make Spotify playlists, and then I will listen to them. This could be a really big thing.
Actually, yeah.
I in all of my infinite time, if I can find somebody to do that. It was one of my COVID projects, putting all those into like an actual, thing to save them, because they just been in boxes I held around my whole life.
That is impressive, though, to still have them,
That's
much less
really
index
cool.
them. So
I can't play them though. I don't have a tape player or a CD
Find you
player.
one.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Dana can find you
library.
one.
I'll get you one.
I miss mixtapes, man. You knew somebody loved you if they made you a mixtape. You knew
Right?
that.
I made you a Spotify playlist, Stephanie. What else do you want from me?
Just everything, Aaron. I just want everything.
Can you make covers? Like,
Yeah.
that was part of it too. For Spotify playlists, you can like create a cover and everything.
Yes, you can.
Ooh, okay.
And now there are even lyrics so that you can sing
Yeah.
along on the bottom.
Ah.
And realize
Oh,
you've
wow.
been singing them incorrectly for years now.
Oh, yeah.
There were some George Strait songs. I was like, Jesus, am I texting? I got a lot of this wrong.
Hey, look, you used to have to get the album out and hope that they listed the song lyrics.
Or
Carrie,
get Tiger
what?
Beat.
True.
Tiger Beat. Corey Haim. Let's take a moment.
Oh, Corey Haim, the Corys. Yeah.
Corey's. Carrie, what are you up to next? Where can people find you and Blue Action Democrats?
They can check us out at blueactiondems.org, and all the information about what the chapters are doing and how you can volunteer to block walk or calls or text or write postcards. Lots of opportunities wherever you are. And if you're interested in starting a chapter, you can just email us and we can help get you all set up.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank y'all.
Okay.
This is-
We're going to
this
say
is a
goodbye
blast.
to Carrie, but stay.
everybody.
We're going back to game number 2.
Bye, Carrie.
Carrie's gone. It
Have a great
doesn't
weekend.
mean.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye. Thank you. All right.
She was delightful.
Isn't she delightful and so articulate?
Wonderful.
All
Tom,
right.
you're
Let's
muted, just a heads up.
play game
I'm
number
joining-
2. Oh,
I'm joining the party gang because
Oh, great.
the little templates that I made work best with 5.
Okay.
Okay.
So
here's the story. All right, Amy. Let's
Okay,
play
should
our
we-
second game.
All right. The Texas primaries are coming up on March 1st, 2022. What and why is primary? And haven't I already graduated from primary school? In the next game, the primary directive. Nice. We'll learn more about what's on the primary ballot. Let's play.
Yay. Okay, so Tom is now your phone a friend. I don't know
Yes.
how useful.
Good luck.
Hi.
Come on, Tom.
Just so you know, when I made this little template, at first I put primary detective. So that's what you got going for you.
I like that one too. That could be a bit.
Well, I'm so glad we talked on the phone. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I should. Yeah.
Dana, back to you.
Yes.
Hmm?
There are 5 Democratic candidates and 8 Republican candidates on the primary ballot. Which of the following names are not one of those candidates?
Oh, shoot.
Paul Bellew, Belew. Eno Barrientos, Ray Blanco, Candy Cane Horn. Which one of those is not really?
Okay.
Three of them are.
Yep. All
For
right.
what office?
This is for governor. These
Okay.
people are running for governor. Paul Ballou, Eno Barrientos, Ray Blanco, Candy Cane Horn. Candy Cane Horn, where the Y is silent and invisible at the end.
All right, come on, Candy Cane Horn.
I'm not gonna lie, that does sound like an East Texas woman who owns like a candle shop.
And
like,
that's why I'm like, am I just skimming over an actual name and saying, "Oh no, that's fake"? Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? Screw points, but Tom, I need your help.
I want to say, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's Candy Cane Horn, but it's so obvious that it's probably true.
Yeah.
So
that's
I was
what I'm
thinking
saying.
Ray Blanca, because he sounds like a porn star more than Candy Cane Horn.
And then you have Mr. Blue too. So okay, Tom.
Wait a minute, is this a Reservoir Dogs thing?
I know. I don't think she's a Quentin fan, though. I don't think she is.
No, I'm not a.
Yeah,
Okay.
Res Dogs is too violent for her stuff.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Well, I'm not playing for. I'm playing for education, so I'm just gonna say the Blanca is not on the.
Y'all are correct. That is Spanish for white king. Oh, do you see how meta I was there?
Oh,
meta.
But Candy Cane is running.
That is a real person.
Can you talk a little bit about Candy Cane?
I could not find anything but one like Twitter account for her, so I don't know. She's probably busy stripping.
Yeah, and I had
don't
that
know.
idea. It's like there's some Texas names that are, or not Texas, but like it's just oddball, but yet it's a thing. Maybe it's a hyphen or like a little.
I don't know.
There are people out there. If their last name was Kane, they're gonna use Candy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just force it. Like I had a couple of buddies that were Troy Aikman Garcia. Like you're just forcing the name at that point. You're just...
I love that.
All right, Aaron. Which elected official in the state is the state official responsible for collecting taxes, overseeing the state treasury, and forecasting the amount of money that's available for the state's 2-year budget? Is it the registrar, the governor, the attorney general, or the comptroller?
My dumbass wanted to say county clerk, but that's county. Like the name is in the. So no. And I was gonna say it with such confidence too, and then I'm glad it was honestly by like answer C. I'm like, no, it's county. They only work for the county. So I kind of want to say registrar. Oh no! Oh, Tom's nodding. Tom.
I was a business owner, so I know who I paid this to. Let's go with D. Comptroller.
D. Comptroller. Locking it in.
Good job.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
I used to get letters. Sometimes I would get calls from the comptroller, and they would say, "Hi, is this Tom Booker?" Yes. This is we're from the usually it was sales and use tax. And like, oh, I'm glad you called because I've been getting a bunch of scary letters from you, and I haven't opened them. What do they say?
That's
and they would tell me.
I need to pay ours or figure out when it's due. Okay, you cannot use a phone a friend here, Aaron, for a bonus. Can you name the current comptroller?
Ooh.
Candy Cane Horn.
So close.
The Plum King.
What's the? Yeah, what is
are they? Can I get a hint? Like, are they?
No, you just gotta know this one.
Let's.
Troy
Let's
Aikman.
say that his first name is the name of a composer that did big band music, and then his last name is like a comic strip about Vikings.
What?
Oh, I remember that comic strip, but I can't remember what it's called.
Oh,
I think Dana knows. Dana knows.
Oh, well, wait, when you said it was comic, but John?
Astrid?
Erickson?
Glenn Hager.
Oh,
Glenn
Oh.
Hager.
That was good, Stephanie. Those were good. I
Thank you.
man.
Because she's doing, yeah.
I only know that French comic with the French Viking Astrid and
Astrid.
something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to watch it in French class. I was like, I'm not gonna I don't know any of this, but yeah.
But
see
that's a
Helga and
classic.
Hagar?
It is a classic. Like I learned later on, I was like,
Classic.
oh, I
It's also
just
German as well. So.
Oh, c'est alors, pas encore.
I'm shocked nobody knew the Glenn Miller Band either.
Thank you, Amy.
Sorry.
All right, Dana.
Yeah.
How many state senators and how many state representatives do we have in Texas? Is it 50 senators and 50 reps, or 50 senators and 150 reps, or 2 senators and 150 reps, or 31 senators and 150 reps?
I gotta say, I love the faces you make with each answer, Dana, because you're like, oh, like you're you're giving yourself hints somehow.
I'm my own Tom. Oh my gosh. Okay, for just the state in general.
Just for the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it? I want to say it's 150 House, right? 150 House, and then 30, 50, 30, 31 senators.
That's correct. It's
Thanks,
31
Tom.
senators and 50 reps. I think you might have gotten a clue there.
No,
I don't know.
I only know that because I was
felt-
in Over the Ledge because you
I
were
felt-
bringing up. Yeah.
I felt the spirit of 31 senators
Mm-hmm.
touching.
Mm-hmm.
That Nashville mojo.
Coming through.
All right, Aaron, how many of the 31 senators are running unopposed, as in they have no primary challenger and
man.
no general challenger?
Oh, man.
0, 9, 5, or 20?
I feel like it could be like 5, and those 5 are like represent like West Texas, where there's like collectively like 40 people. Or it could be 20 because they're like, well, fuck it. Everybody's going to vote red anyway. Tom, do you happen to know?
I don't. I mean, I bet it's more than we think it is. So my guess would be 9, but that's just a guess.
It feels like a nice
Well, and
place.
I hate to say it, but like in a pandemic, if some of those candidates are like, nah, I'm out, like, or if they, I don't know.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 feels good. 9 feels like a solid footing.
You're right. It's 9.
Hey!
Hey!
9. We got Brian Hughes, Republican. Charles Schwartner, Republican. Paul Betancourt, Republican. Boris Miles, Democrat. Sarah Eckhart, Democrat. Brian Birdwell, Republican. Royce West, Democrat. Charles Perry, Republican. And Drew Springer, Republican.
Were we going to have Sarah Eckhart as a guest one time?
We did.
We actually did, Aaron,
Yeah.
have her as a...
Stephanie, a lot of times I'm in the back sweating, trying to get fluids back in so I don't pass out on stage. Okay, cut me some slack. You know I'm a heavy sweater.
It was on a podcast.
Then too, you know I'm a heavy sweater in general.
Okay, so how many of the remaining contested Senate races? So note that 9 of them are out. Is it 9 or 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 9 of the 31. So we have 22. Of those 22, how many of them only have primary candidates from one party? 0, 2, 5, or 7? I'm sorry that my nose is itching so much. I think it's COVID. Zero.
Okay. Let's
2, 5, or 7.
Because that
And
Green
note that
Party loves to sneak
3
in,
of those
man.
numbers are primary numbers
Yeah.
for the primary directive.
Oh.
I'm so meta.
That's
Yeah,
so...
you're-
I'm deep. This
You
is
are
an
deep.
Inception kind of levels here.
That's a conspiracy theory waiting to happen.
I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
Go for
7?
it, Dana.
7?
2.
2.
Sorry, it's
Okay.
2.
Yeah. Okay.
Both Republican. So this
Yeah.
is what the takeaway is, that 8 of the 31 seats. Is that right? Is that my math? Yeah. 8 of the 31 seats, 25% of them will be Republican and 10% of the Senate will be Democratic before we've even done anything.
God.
So I just want to know how that makes you feel, really.
You know, deflated.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you feel, Aaron?
Numb.
Salt in the wound.
Yeah, it's
No. If this was our candy cane lane board game, we're not getting anywhere.
No.
We're going 2 steps back.
She's part of the sugar party. It's very sweet.
But deadly.
Can you imagine? It means that okay. Technically, so in the Senate, they run every 4 years.
Right.
And they run on off years. So 16 of them run 1 2-year period and 15 of them run another. Everybody's running right now. Every House member, every Senate member, because we just did redistricting. So when the next session starts, they will pull numbers out of a hat to decide who runs in 2 years and who runs in 4 years. So some people right now can do anything they want for the next 4 years.
Wow.
And you can't vote them out of office. You can't petition them out of office. I just wanted to really lighten up your day. Okay, finally, Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron, this is our first ever audio clue for a game.
Yay!
Cutting edge.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna
And
listen to something. Go ahead.
I think I figured something out, so I think it'll work.
Okay. Which of the candidates for governor is talking in this clip? So we're gonna listen first, and then I'll give you some choices. Here we go.
Moments. I may be a lot of things, but one thing I'm not an expert. Okay. I read these articles. I read this stuff, but I'm not an expert. People love to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, or perhaps I'm a moron. And they remind me that I'm just not an expert. I just sit in my car, or I sit here on this set and I talk. What would I know about politics, legislation, elections, procedures, holding elected office, budgets, bureaucracy, SARS, COVID, any of this stuff that's going on in the world? Well, to be honest with you, you're right. I'm no expert. But then again,
Will you play the very next
Oh,
clip?
sure.
I'm no expert, but
Okay.
I may be a lot of things, but one thing I'm not an expert. Okay. I read these articles. I read this stuff, but I'm not an expert. People love to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, or perhaps I'm a moron. And they remind me that I'm just not an expert. I just sit in my car, or I sit here on this set and I talk. What would I know about politics, legislation, elections, procedures, holding elected office, budgets, bureaucracy, SARS, COVID, any of this stuff that's going on in the world? Well, to be honest with you, you're right. I'm no expert. But then again, I'm reminded that it was experts that built the Titanic. Experts, but
Wow. The logic.
yeah,
Wow.
just remember, experts built the Titanic. Okay, Aaron, was this Greg Abbott, Paul Ballou, Danny Harrison, Candy Cane Horn, Don Huffines, Rick Perry, not the one you're thinking of, Chad Prather, Alan West, Eno Barrientos,
Jesus.
Michael Cooper, Joy Diaz, Beto O'Rourke, or Rich Wakeland?
I can't help you.
I don't think it's candy cane.
I mean, honestly, it could be. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised
Alex-
Joe Rogan isn't running.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's be real. The only reason Rick Perry is running is just because they're just trying to shoe it in for
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
life was pretty good when Rick was running. I'll vote for him again. That's the only reason.
Okay, I'm going to
Um,
narrow it down. It's a Republican candidate, and it is either Paul Ballou, Danny Harrison, Chad Prather, or Alan West.
Candy's a Democrat.
No, she's a Republican, but I didn't pick her.
Oh,
I narrowed it from 8 to 4.
Jesus.
so
Alan.
nice.
He sounds like an Alan. Because I have a buddy, Alan, who kind of sounds like that.
It is.
Is it not?
Wait,
that?
give me the other one. Give
I
it.
forget
Give
who
me
I
the 4
told
one
you.
more
Paul
time.
Ballou, Danny Harrison, Chad Prather, Alan West.
I kind of wanted to say Baloo because I like the name.
Yeah, it's Chad Prather.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He apparently is
sits on a set.
quite a radio personality. Yeah.
But not an expert.
Not an expert. Just remember, experts built the Titanic.
That's right. So you don't want to be an expert.
In his
No,
own
never.
logic, it makes sense. In his own logic, you can't be mad at the guy.
You're right. He's
Yeah.
kind of cute. He's got that sexy.
In a way that you're
Dumb.
like, don't talk.
Exactly. Shh, don't talk and don't vote. Just let me look at you. All right, Amy, how did we do?
All right.
Do we have a clear winner?
I have
Are
to
we all
say,
winners?
Aaron has won, even if we without the thing, he won by 2 points.
There
So,
you go, Aaron.
Aaron,
All right.
congratulations. You are
Thank you.
Aaron.
the most
Beautiful,
knowledgeable
Aaron.
comedian in Austin.
Yay.
Yeah. Hey.
Trying to figure out about. He goes by Chad, by the way. It looks like.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
That's a Texas country western singer if I've ever seen one. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's nice sitting in 2, the placehold of 2 of being the best comic. in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin.
It is a good point.
Means you're the second best.
Aaron,
Hey.
is this the first time you've won?
No,
No,
I
he-
think I've won other ones.
He
Sometimes
beat
Stephanie likes.
me.
Okay.
I was a comedian one time and he beat me. I've never let it go.
Woof. Oh,
We have a list. We have a list somewhere.
Ooh, we should put that on the website.
I like it.
I have a joke here. I'm going to read. Wow, I am really going to have to give that Chad Prather another look. Who needs an expert? Am I right? That's why I go to the dollar store when I need heart surgery.
Oh, that's great.
Are we going to the
That's
monologue
good.
now? You want to do a little
Yeah, let's
monologue
go to the
or something?
monologue.
All
Please
right.
laugh. Clap roarously.
All right.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Thank you to our 7 watchers. Thank you, Mom,
Woo.
Dad. All right. Texas is recording a record number of positive COVID-19 tests just as we send children back to school. Maybe they can make masks out of all the books that have been banned. I just hope they don't use the Louis Sakar classic holes.
Oh.
Oh.
Last week, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick tested positive for COVID, but didn't tell anyone because he was afraid it would ruin his street cred for being the most negative politician out there.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
That's
Double
good,
negative.
that's good.
Double negative.
Oh.
Governor Greg Abbott asked the Biden administration for help with COVID-19 testing sites and antibody treatments, stating, I can't be expected to deal with the consequences of these lax laws. What am I, the governor?
But
rolling.
The Texas teacher retirement system has just paid $116 million to build the first stage of a new Austin headquarters. Glad we said no to a cost of living adjustment for this, said no retired teacher anywhere.
I bet.
Uh-huh.
Nobody needs a building. We can all work from home. I just
They
want to-
have the fanciest buildings.
Except for the teachers. They can't work from home.
They can't. I mean, I'm sorry. And nurses can't. I mean, there are a
No.
lot of people who can't, but
No.
anybody who sits at a desk in an office
Like
with
all the-
no front end customer service tasks can work from home. It's just big corporate housing known as rental. You know what I'm saying.
We know. You're right.
just like Big Zoom.
Big
Uh-huh.
Big Zoom versus big corporate housing.
That's right. Okay. Okay, hold on. I got to articulate for this one. ERCOT and PUC insiders said Governor Greg Abbott intervened to put a positive spin on the strength of Texas's power grid ahead of recent storms. And by positive spin, I don't mean he helped craft the messaging. I mean, he held up a sign with a large plus and did a wheelie outside the governor's mansion. He's putting so much spin on things, they've appointed him the new head trainer at Peloton.
There you go.
Oh.
That's good.
Oh.
Expensive.
Okay, this one's long.
Sit back.
Take a nap,
back.
gang.
It'll take a minute, but it'll all get there. Don Huffines, gubernatorial candidate and overall goober, pledges that the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl if he's governor. When asked how this would be accomplished, he said, "Have you met my friend, the Diebold Jumbotron?" Now, look, this is funny because Diebold makes election equipment and Republicans think you can rig election equipment. So Don is saying he's going to cheat. Okay, that's the joke.
Dawn.
Oh.
Right? He's going to cheat just like Jerry Jones and Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings did. Now, that layer is funny because nobody would ever suspect that I would know about this scandal. Okay. Now, did you know? Hold on. This joke is still going, Aaron.
We're still-
Longer than this?
Well,
Did you know that Don Huffines wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader?
No.
He wasn't allowed to try out because he didn't have a pair of twins. He just was a twin. That joke is over.
That was worth the drive.
That was.
You know, so basically you're workshopping a one-woman show with that joke, I think.
Yeah, that's a scenic, really scenic jaunt into the Cowboys.
Yeah, Peterson's not with the Vikings anymore. Just
Do you know what that scandal was? I just Googled it.
Yeah. No, but he's not with. He's not.
All right.
He is a Sooner though, Tom. He is a Sooner.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah, he's.
Tim Coyle sent me this.
Oh, look at that.
Did you notice that the American Statesman today had weather for Oklahoma?
Really?
Yeah, on the weather page instead of Texas, it was Oklahoma's
On
weather.
purpose?
The print and electronic edition. And we have to say that James Knupp is who noticed this. Yeah, it's real. Go look for it. Okay, I still have some more jokes.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I've got this stat here. There we go.
Oh, okay, just one more.
Okay.
The Texas GOP is in some hot water after tweeting a photo that said, "If you can wait in line for hours for COVID testing, you can wait in line to vote for person. You can wait to vote in line in person." Over the Ledge was surprised to learn that this was the nice version of the post. The one they posted on Parler said, "If you can wait in line for hours for food from the food bank, you can get a job. Loser."
Oh.
Dana, it's not real. That's the joke.
Okay.
The second one is the joke.
Oh.
The joke.
Okay.
Oh my God. You're welcome, everybody. 1980s dentistry there. As a reminder, everyone, the last day to register to vote in the March 1st primary is January 31st. Early voting starts February 14th. And applications to vote by mail must be received by February 18th. Mark your calendars now. Boom! And scene.
All right.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, skip to man and wife. Skip to the end, baby.
Okay. Where are we? Man and wife.
That's from that's from Princess Bride when he's like, skip to the end.
Oh, got it.
Man and wife. Man
Thank
and
you.
wife. Well, I'm not married.
Oh, can I do the thank our sponsors?
Yeah, let's thank those sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. We hope you caught our bonus episode, Under the Ledge, where we did a deep dive into the 1983 fire in the lieutenant governor's apartment that happened inside the building. And we've got an extra special announcement. We'll be back live in person September 16th to 18th,
Woo!
2022 at the Lawn Center.
Yay!
All right.
Dana, will you be in it again?
Oh my gosh, you're asking me live?
I am.
Putting you on the spot.
Will you be in my play again?
Wait, this is in September?
Yes.
Let's talk about dates. Call me, hun.
Oh God, that's a no.
I
Aaron,
know.
but I
Wait,
know Aaron
September?
and Amy are in.
Wait,
We're
this
in.
September. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to deal with my lactose intolerance. What if that's a bad weekend? You know, I might have some ice cream or something. You know I'm in it, Stephanie.
We'll have some
Thank you.
tofuti cuties on set.
I'll take it.
All right. Thank you so much to our special guests, Carrie Collier Brown and Dana Yanoshak.
Yay!
Dana, where can people find you on social media and where are you performing next?
Ooh, okay. You can find me on Instagram. That's at Dana Yanoshak. I know it's a mouthful. DanaYanoshak. Dana Yanoshak at Instagram. And then you can find me in the most secret, secluded, sort of Texas Renaissance Fair meets D&D LARPing experience. I might be dressed up as a gnome. I might be some other kind of monster. Come to Tiny Minotaur.
When is that?
It looks cool.
Intriguing.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Are
it's
you
like
available for parties and are you acceptable for
Yes.
10-year-olds? Are 10-year-olds? Is this a
Yes.
PG-10?
If you email us at thetiny.minotaur.com, then you could book a session and have a fantastic time with your group. And it's only your group. It's a very private experience. And you get to kind of, like a movie, traverse through the rift and like sci-fi, not sci-fi, but basically like high fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, you could come dressed up as anything. You just want to make sure that you have a fun time and be nerdy.
All right.
Drink some swill at a tavern. Anyway, you can find me there.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you.
And thank you to Aaron Salinas and to our over the ledge and to our over the ledge benevolent empress Stephanie Chiarello. Thank you to our sound engineer Tom Booker. And just remember, do you want to say it?
Good morning. I love you. Or Tom Booker loves you.
Both.
There you
All
go.
right.
All right. Thank you to Amy Lowrey for guiding us through this episode.
Hey. And that's our show. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our podcast wherever you get yours. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok as at Over the Ledge.
Woo!
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Mom, Dad, Chad. Appreciate it. Okay.
Yay. All right. I'm going to end it
about
now.
this girl I know.